Hey writers, welcome back to another editing mini lesson. Today we're going to be checking up on pronouns. So pronouns, as I'm sure you've heard before, but maybe you've forgotten, a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun, right? So words like she, he, they, it, their, his, hers, these are like general terms that we can substitute for specific nouns, okay? And we call those pronouns. Okay. In our informational writing, we are typically talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And you'll notice informational authors use pronouns a lot to kind of mix up the flow of their sentence. So let me show you in our Polar Bears book what this looks like and kind of explain what I mean. So here we see the page about powerful pause, and we can see that it says, a polar bear's paws do many things. Paws dig dens in the snow. They break the ice to find food. They also pull food out of the water. Okay, so in this little section we have two pronouns, they and they, okay? Now, they, what does they refer to? The polar bear's paws, right? That's kind of what this whole section is about. And so without these pronouns, it would sound like this. A polar bear's paws do many things. Paws dig dens in the snow. Paws break the ice to find food. Paws also pull food out of the water. However, since the author chose to use some pronouns here, it makes it more interesting, right? It makes these sentences flow together and just not sound so repetitive. Okay, let me show you another place where Laura Marsh does this. So this is 2 pages on super swimmers. It says, polar bears are great swimmers. They spend a lot of time in the water. Their front paws paddle, their back legs steer, their fat helps polar bears float. Okay? So there's lots of pronouns on this page. They, their, and their. Okay? Now, all of that is talking about polar bears. So without the pronouns, it would sound like this. Polar bears are great swimmers. Polar bears spend a lot of time in the water. Polar bears' front paws paddle. Polar bears' back legs steer. Polar bears' fat helps polar bears float. Whoa, that is so repetitive, and it uses polar bears over and over and over again. That sounds a little crazy. But the informational author, Laura Marsh, used these pronouns to make her writing less repetitive, right? Instead of saying polar bears, polar bears, polar bears, polar bears, she said polar bears are great swimmers. So she said what it is in the beginning. Then she moved into a pronoun. They spend a lot of time in the water. Their front paws paddle, their back legs steer, their fat helps polar bears float. Okay? So in your editing work today, your job is to read through it, and I want you to check, are your sentences sounding too repetitive, right? Are you saying your topic over and over and over again? Are you saying turtles do this, turtles do that, turtles do this, turtles do that, turtles, 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 turtles? If that's what your writing sounds like, break it up with some pronouns, right? Find a way to add in some different pronouns in there. Or on the other hand, your writing might have all pronouns, right? You might introduce your topic. You might say soccer, right? So you might say soccer is fun. It is the best. It is this. It is that. It. We need to keep a balance so that our writing isn't repetitive. We don't want the same word in every sentence on every page, whether it's the word like soccer or the pronoun like it. There should be a balance, and it should kind of go back and forth, right? So it might sound like soccer is a really fun sport. It is my favorite thing to play. It is really great. Another good thing about soccer is, so that kind of going back and forth between the pronoun and the actual word. So when you go back to your draft, to your revised draft, to do some of this editing work today, read through it and notice, are you using pronouns? Or are there some places where you might fix that up and just to kind of break up the repetition in your writing. And then double check to make sure those pronouns make sense, right? If you're writing about soccer and you say, soccer is really fun. They are the best sport. Wait a minute. They isn't the correct pronoun for soccer, right? So kind of check back, and if you're using pronouns, make sure that they make sense with your noun that it is replacing. As always, let me know if you have questions about this. I'm so happy to help. Have so much fun writing, and I'll talk to you soon.